Rita, once again, stealing the spotlight from all of our characters in this week's episode of Shingeki no Bahamut. That scene when Nina was showing that she could transform into a dragon, and then the king actually saw her undo her transformation, and then he grabbed her, Rita coming in and stealing the show. Like, she's like, hey, don't put your hands on her. Like, don't put your hands on her while she's naked and all that and unconscious. And I mean, if you look at the scene rather closely, it's kind of obvious why Rita would say that, because the man was just straight up grabbing a chest of opie on Nina. Like, the man was going all in. Like, you could clearly see it when he grabbed her. I'm like, yo, like, whoa. Like, whoa, King, you need to back up a bit. Like, you need to back up. But, anyways, when Rita came in, she was saying that, and he's like, who are you? And then Rita's like, hey, I'm just a casual zombie coming on by. And I'm like, bro, like, Rita is just so chill, and the way she's just wanting to have fun. Like, she's like, woo, and all that, just, I love her. She's such a bubbly character, and I love her just interactions with the cast and all that, and especially with how she just looks at everything, and she's like, wow, that's awesome, or how she just communicates with everyone else. Just very fun scenes with her, and I can always get a smile or a laugh from her when I see her in an episode. So, just stealing the spotlight once again. But anyways, with that being said, this episode had some really good details when it came to the art and animation, like the explosion effects. Now look, I'm not one for action and explosions and all that, but oh my god, the explosions that was in this episode looked so beautiful. I just have to give props to Studio Mappa for all that effort that they clearly put into this episode, because they went all in. I mean, when you saw the ship battle and all that, like, you see this big hand come out and it shoots at the, angel ship and all that. And you see the explosions, the wind effects, and all that, the particles and stuff. Just everything about that scene looks so good. But then also, on top of that, the fight with Nina when she was going in and fighting up against the stone golem, that was also a very good scene. Like, holy crap, did I witness a stone golem choking out a dragon? Like, yo, what? Like, yo, that legit just happened. Like, a stone golem was choking out Nina, which was the dragon. Like, oh my god, like, you just saw how she was, like, just lava was coming out of her mouth and all that because she just couldn't breathe and she was just getting chokehold. I'm like, bro, like, that's some savage and brutal stuff we see going on in this episode. And when Nina fights back and she just, like, rips it and all that and gets out, I'm like, this is a pretty badass fight. Like, if this is just like the first half of the series, I can't wait to see what happens in the second half, because FYI, once again, to clarify if you're unaware, this series is not over. It's going to be going on for like 12 plus episodes, so yeah, I mean, we got a long ways to go, a whole other anime season before this series concludes, which is very good, so there's just so much more that we can expect from this series. So, with all of those little things that were just really exciting throughout this episode, there was some stuff going on behind the scenes when it comes to the actual plot. So one of the big things we found out is that apparently someone has to be helping the king. Someone has to be helping him out that most likely isn't human. Because from what we found out from the angel side, they said like, whoa, the weapon, this weapon of mass destruction that the king used against us, even if he had the knowledge and knew about it, there's just no way he should have been able to make it. It just doesn't make any sense. Humans shouldn't have been able to do that, even if they had the knowledge. So she was questioning, like, what's going on here? And it actually brings up the question, okay, so if that is a thing, who's backing the king? What's going on here? Someone has to be backing the king for him to be able to make something like this. So I'm starting to think, like, okay, who would back him? Obviously, what he's done to demons is rather fucked, so I don't really believe it's demons, unless there's some form of top-tier demon that just doesn't care about their own kind, and doesn't care about anyone, just wants to watch the world burn. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's who the king is listening to, and that's how he's been able to, like, make this super weapon. Or there's a god or something that, also wants to help out humans, and then just, destroy the world or upset the balance. Whatever the case may be, the point is that we do know that there's someone behind the scenes, someone that is way beyond the king, someone that is definitely a lot stronger, someone that is manipulating the king or using the king in a way to where he can do whatever he wants. And so from what we found out, the scale of this weapon, since it could upset the balance, is pretty much the scale of Bahamut. That's basically how bad this is right now. So we kind of had like an old enemy pop up in this episode, because as we remember, Bahamut would have just destroyed the entire world in the end of Season 1, and now that we're hearing about this and what this weapon is capable of, and since it's going to upset the balance, that right there just lets us know that we can expect probably some crazy things in the second half. Now, I'm just very curious, who would be backing the king? I mean, everything we've seen from the king thus far, it doesn't look like he has really many allies, like trustworthy allies. I mean, it really doesn't. I mean, since we know humans can't really do it from what we understood from this episode, that means that it's either a demon or a god, or maybe dragon, maybe it's the original Bahamut or something. Who knows? Maybe Bahamut is manipulating him. Whatever it may be, the point stands is that right now we have a new in-game villain. It's not necessarily the king, which makes sense since, you know, we just finished the first half of Shingeki no Bahamut Virgin Soul, which would be around the perfect time to add in the actual main boss of the series, since this first half is just like the opening act. Anyways, though, getting back on topic, Kaiser. I want to talk about Kaiser for a second. So Kaiser had a Favreau moment, and he also yelled Favreau. So one big thing about this episode with him yelling Favreau, that was instantly good moment. Very good moment. You know how we all feel. I think we can all agree when Kaiser's just yelling Favreau. That it's just a funny scene. It's badass. It's just an iconic thing when it comes to this series because all of us love that from the original season. But Kaiser had a Favreau moment. Not yelling Favreau, but an actual Favreau moment. This man, he's trying to act all cool and badass in front of everyone. Rita, Nina, all of them. And he's like, okay, get out of here and all that. You know, I'm going to stick around. Or he's like, wait, you're just sticking around to try to find, you know, Favreau, aren't you? And he doesn't say anything. He's like, just go and all that. I'll be fine. And so they up and leave Kaiser behind. And Kaiser looks like he's about to be badass. He's about to fight all the knights and stuff. Just go in. And then all of a sudden, once everybody's out of view, he just, you know, he smiles when he's surrounded like Favreau. And he just drops his weapon. I'm like, this is Favreau. Like, this is straight Favreau, because this is what Favreau would do. This man would troll, or he would just, you know, actually pick the route where he doesn't experience much pain at all, or the least amount of pain. And this man just dropping his weapon like that and smiling, I'm like, this man, he clearly has been around Favreau too much to act like that. So definitely Kaiser having a Favreau moment. That was unexpected, but very funny, especially with the way his face was. Like, that man looked like he was a psychopath in that one moment, the way his face looked. Like, he smiled and all that, and he just dropped his weapon, and then the king's like, don't kill him and all that, and you just hear the man getting beat in the background, just like, damn. So, yeah, overall, I would say that this episode of Shingeki no Bahamut was very fun and enjoyable, like always, and it had a lot of setup for the endgame of the series. The angels got wrecked, the demons got wrecked, humans got wrecked, and if you really look at the grand scheme of things, no one really won in this episode, or this little fight that broke out these past couple episodes. No one won at all. Everybody lost. And when I look at the series right now, I don't know which side I'm really on. I mean, I'm on our cast side, I guess, but when I look at the races, when I look at, you know, humans, demons, and angels, I'm not really on anyone's side, because they all are kind of jerks. They're all assholes in a way. I mean, what the angels have been doing, what the demons have been doing, and, well, the demons, I guess, kind of been bullied a bit. I mean, they're being enslaved, so I can guess, you know, them being a little bit of a bitch might make sense. But, I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, though, no side really won in this fight. So, yeah, that's the ending, I guess, victory results. I mean, nobody won. It was kind of like a draw, or everybody lost, one or the other. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.